This, for me, is heaven. I love it here.
So do we.
Have you ever dreamt of starting over and turning your back on city living?
Let's do it.
Exciting!
Of giving up everything you know to make a brand new life in the country?
Love that view. And there's our house.
In this series, I'll meet those who are bravely leaving their 9-to-5s and selling up to chase their dreams.
This is my last big adventure. I'm going to enjoy it.
Cheers!
The new life.
Of moving to the great British countryside to start their very own business from scratch.
It's definitely doubling everything.
For a year, I'll experience their brand new lives right alongside them.
How high do you want to go?
Yeah, that's good.
See up close the huge challenges they face.
It looks like the apocalypse has been and gone.
We're frozen solid.
That's the big hit in the pocket.
This is our running water.
If this doesn't work, we've got to walk away.
But I'll also discover the massive rewards.
Yes! Fully booked. This is a good sign.
700 for today.
That is wicked.
And when I return the following year,
Are you open or aren't you open? What a transformation.
I'll find out if all their endeavour achieved their dream, new life in the country. It's no secret. I've always dreamed of relocating to one of my favourite places on Earth, Scotland. Well, I'm off to meet a family who are doing just that. A family who moved more than 500 miles to renovate a derelict pub here in the wilds of Scotland. I'm going to spend a whole year following Tony, Paul and their daughter Harriet on their life-changing adventure.
Well done.
We've bought a bloody pub.
Can I see the pub?
Please do. Welcome to Carnage.
I'll discover what compelled this family to leave their jobs and lives in the city to risk everything.
That might keep a lot of people awake at night.
I'm lucky if I get past 3 o'clock in the morning, to be honest,
Really?
at the moment, yeah.
In a place they've only ever visited on holiday.
I see that.
Find out the true cost of their gamble
We've got to make a minimum of 100 grand.
and discover if they have what it takes to make their dream a reality.
Does that make you quite nervous, Tony?
Yeah, that terrifies me. That's a lot of money.
In 2018, the family discovered a 200-year-old rundown local pub in the heart of Kilmichael Glassery, a remote village that they've been holidaying in for 11 years.
We just kept coming back to this place because it was on the market for quite a long time. And for us as a family, it's something that we could all do together. Paul could do the bar, I'd be in the kitchen, you know, Harriet, if we could find Harriet a nice school. And this place ticked all of the boxes.
Having never worked in a pub, pulled a pint, nor run a business, just 2 weeks ago, carer Tony and car salesman Paul left their suburban home, jobs and extended family in Rochester, Kent, as they'd had enough of the grind of busy city life.
It was an endurance. I was enduring what I was doing. The biggest resentment for me was the fact that all my family time was, well, I felt was stolen from me. You know, it'd be supposed to clock off at 6 o'clock. Sometimes you'd be there till 7:30, 8 at night, you know, because that's what the role demanded.
People raging in the supermarkets, people raging over car parking spaces, traffic.
People were pushed and driven to the edge of what's reasonable.
With a population of just 400, picturesque Kilmichael Glassery in Argyll and Bute is the complete opposite to life in Rochester, as it's at least a 2-hour drive from the largest town, Oban. To make their new life in the country a reality, they sold their 3-bedroom bungalow for £322,000 and bought the 3,000-square-foot pub and restaurant for £244,000. After other expenses, the couple have £30,000 left to restore the pub, get it open, and start their new lives.
It's a completely foreign existence for us. It's all we've, you know, a couple in their 40s and we've only known an area. We are like fish out of water.
But these fish have a hefty mortgage, no income, and a mass of DIY jobs to do before they can open, which they plan to do in just 6 weeks.
All right. There's no weight. It's all right. There's no weight to
No,
it.
my hands.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
Yeah.
I can see why Tony and Paul would dream of turning their favourite holiday destination into their new home. But it's a massive life change. And I want to know what drives a family to make such a leap and risk everything. It's time I saw this pub worth moving 500 miles for.
Ah, hello. Hey guys, Tony, Paul. How are you doing?
Hectic.
Hector, can I say this looks like a pub in progress?
Yeah.
This looks ready.
This is
I
fine,
could
yeah.
order a pint now. This, not so much.
Yeah, you haven't seen the rest of it yet.
Really?
This is the good bit.
It seems amazing that you're still hoping to open in a week or so.
It's a week today, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a multitude of things to do, but we remain the eternal optimists. So, yeah, by hook or by crook, we'll be opened.
Well, I'm dying to look around. Can I see the pub?
Please do. Welcome to Carnage.
Okay, welcome to Carnage. Love that.
A week until opening is a tight turnaround, considering they've not even completely unpacked.
Just looking around, it does look like a lot of work needs to be done in the next 7 days.
Before this new landlord and landlady can start pulling pints and serving food, they need to redecorate the bar area and 35-seat dining room, upgrade the kitchen with new equipment, and they plan on doing all this themselves. This is a mammoth task for two rather enthusiastic novices.
So here's the question, why have you set this opening date?
I wish we'd give ourselves another couple of weeks. We could delay it, but we're too late in the day to do that now. And it just, I don't want to foul before we've began. So, yeah, we've laid down the gauntlet. And we've got to do it. We've got to smash it.
I think people need goals.
Absolutely.
I can see how determined they are to make this work. I want to know what drove them to want such a drastic life change.
The whole process has always been about us spending time together.
Yeah.
In our previous life, we were just so sort of stretched by time. And even though we're super, super busy, it's really nice that we're doing something together.
Was there a single moment, something that happened that made you both decide, OK, now is the time to do this?
Yeah, Paul lost his mum last year. We'd spoken about it, hadn't we, for a few years, and it was that moment I said, right, enough. If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can to give our second half of life, the best go we can.
Yeah, we need to give it everything, don't we?
Is she looking down at you now?
I think so.
Is she rooting for you?
Don't make me emotional. I think so. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
It's obvious that their reason for moving to Scotland is to spend more family time together. But with money running out and bills mounting, they have to open as quickly as possible to kickstart an income. I volunteer to help paint the original bench in the bar.
I'm imagining, mainly because of the location of the pub, that there must be a lot of old-timers who've been coming here for almost decades.
You're spot on. And we're really lucky that they're really excited for this pub to open. And there is a sense of, you don't want to let them down.
Do you sometimes feel, Tony, that you're in too deep?
I'm worried that we're not going to be as good as what people expect us to be.
Have you worked out how much you have to earn to keep your head above the water?
We've got to make a minimum of 100 grand, and that's break-even stage.
Does that make you quite nervous, Tony?
Yeah, that terrifies me. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it does. It's terrifying.
£100,000 in their first year is a huge target. That means that their tucked-away village pub, which relies heavily on a local trade of just 400 villagers, needs to make £2,000 a week to survive. Coming up, the bills start mounting.
I'm at that point now, I think, really need to start earning some money.
Emotions run high.
I just feel honestly.
Don't get upset. Drown out the negative voice.
And lockdown puts all their dreams in jeopardy.
In the past week since restrictions were put in place, I sold the grand total of 1 pint of ale and a glass of wine.
It's August 2020, and I'm visiting Tony, Paul and their daughter Harriet, who gave up their jobs and home in Rochester, Kent, to open a pub in the remote west of Scotland.
We get asked a lot, have you had experience running a pub before? No. Have I pulled a pint? I think once.
Having never done anything like this before, they're starting from scratch and learning on the job.
It still just feels like we're just like rocking around in somebody else's house.
I want to know how former carer Tony is coping with the massive life change as she will be running the pub's kitchen on her own.
Are you doing this with enthusiasm?
I love cooking, but it's a very, very different situation doing it in a commercial kitchen with very, very minimal experience no experience of working in the commercial kitchen. I don't even know how it would work logistically. I don't know how you take an order and you set that order up and then you're on to the next order. So all of those things I need to learn before I open.
I don't want to drive this home, but that might keep a lot of people awake at night, that worry.
It does. Yeah, I'm lucky if I get past 3 o'clock in the morning, to be honest, at the moment, yeah.
Tony, as terrified as she is about hitting those targets, about cooking for all those people every single night, actually, I think once the pub finally opens and the adrenaline hits in, I think they'll be swept along on almost an unstoppable tide. It's how long they can sustain that will be the interesting question.
I can't wait to see a bustling, busy pub fully refurbished. Tony and Paul plan to open the bar first, followed by the kitchen a week later. With just 1 week to go until opening, my main concern right now is how and if they're going to get open. They put in 16 hours a day of hard physical work.
That's not horrible, that carpet. If you just chuck that out the window for me.
So all I do is just move stuff from one area to another. Don't scratch my walls, I've just painted them. It's quite a romantic notion, running a pub. You know, you can just walk like float ribbon, oh, this is my pub, it's amazing. It's a lot harder than, a lot harder than I imagined.
Paul's struggling with the basics, like ordering drinks for the pub.
My biggest anxiety is drink, because if I don't get my drink ordered, I can't open the pub.
And the couple have less than a week to figure out how to work together under pressure. And they've just realised they've had a mix-up over a very important order, the drinks.
We were debating between whether to use this supplier or another supplier.
No, true, yeah. Yeah, but I've been asking quite a long time for it.
And I've been asking you for the account number as well.
What you should be doing, as far as I'm concerned, if I haven't given you an account number, he's give it back to me and go, Paul, I need that account number, I've got to put this order in.
You said that you were going to phone him.
Because
you're the one that was dealing with it. So you delegate, and then you take the delegation away and you take it back.
I think this order has been in fruition now for a week.
No, I started doing it on...
1983.
Apart from local bar staff, they plan on doing all the jobs themselves.
Whilst we're in a relationship together, we haven't worked together before.
Paul delegates, and then he gives me a job, and then I'll do it, and then he'll take it away from me. That's what you do. You do it.
I delegate, I give you a job, and then you don't do it.
No, because you say, don't worry about it, I'll do it. That's what you do.
I know, so I'm going to stop doing that.
Well, stop doing it, and then you can't keep making out that I'm like some flaky tit that don't do nothing.
With 5 days to go, so far the couple have been doing all the hard graft themselves to save costs.
We're having people coming in going, oh, you got no work to do here. I'm like, yes, I know, thank you.
They still have flooring to lay, bathrooms to fix, and decorating to do.
What are you doing now, Dad?
We spent ages painting this, and the great news is it's all chipped, so I've got to paint it again.
Are you not a bit cross?
No, I'm all right, actually. I'm unusual for me, but no, I'm not a little bit cross today.
But with just 3 days to opening, they have no choice but to fork out on professionals.
Plumber's got back to me. I'll get the bathroom done.
Oh, is he coming?
He said he's waiting for the spice to come back, which came back to him late yesterday. So he'll have a quote for the private bathroom.
This is not what they need. Additional work is setting the couple back thousands of pounds.
All I'm doing at the moment is just paying out bills. I'm at that point now I think really need to start earning some money.
Opening night is tomorrow, and Tony and Paul still don't know how to pull a pint.
Right, Guinness.
So they've hired local bartender Betty to point them in the right direction.
It's not going down the sink, that, by the way.
You're going to neck that.
I'm not going to neck it. Down it in a few seconds. I'm going to drink it.
One bad pint could mean local trade stops coming through the doors.
So you actually put the nozzle in it then. So I wondered if you do that or not.
Yeah.
Does that stop the head getting too big on it?
Yeah. And it should end up with a head just roughly about your finger size.
Yeah.
35% of their profit comes from their bar sales. So if they don't get this right, they're going to be tipping a lot of money down the drain.
What you would normally do is just give it a wee tilt so that it's not running all over the top of you.
If somebody asked me for 4 pints of Guinness, I say, I can't, no.
It's the moment they've been waiting for, opening day. But just 2 hours before they open their doors, Paul has discovered the gas cylinder for pumping the beer to the bar is empty.
The worst case scenario is we ain't serving Carling and Strongbow tonight.
Paul is having to call in a favour with a local hotel to borrow a spare gas cylinder.
Perfect. So I could go down and pick it up then worst ways by the sound of it. That's brilliant. Because Christine's kindly given me a cylinder. If a miracle happens, then I might have beer tonight. I can't get the beer right. It doesn't set up, to start very well. The hope is I get this CO2 re-rigged up. I've got beer. And actually, that's my main thing. If I can get that working, you won't hear me whinge or moan about anything else for the rest of the night.
With no engineer available to connect the cylinder, ex-car salesman Paul tries to work out how to do it himself.
Well, just read the instructions about my gas cylinder, and it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Just going to try... Just going to go and try and pour a pint and see if what I've done works. So, now he breathes. And Strongbow. We good?
All this has put the couple behind.
I wouldn't be so bad, I just don't actually know what I'm doing. Like, I've got to do like waitressing, I've never ever waitressed in my life.
And with less than an hour until opening, they're frantically trying to get everything ready.
I've never waited tables, I've never taken an order. It's like end up giving somebody a baby shower instead of a lager.
I think these are clean. We've had nearly 7 weeks of stress and worry. This is not the end, this is the beginning of our sort of new life.
Glad rags on, they're just moments away from opening the doors.
What about if they ask what wines we've got?
Don't know. Just be completely honest. At this moment in time, we got white, we got red, we got rosé. Beyond that, I haven't even had a chance to look at them.
Have you?
The villagers have been waiting 6 months for their local to reopen. And for Tony, the nerves are starting to show.
Oh my God, it's 5 to 7. Oh.
We're there for a minute.
The Kilmickle residents will be their core trade, so the couple need to make a good first impression, as without local support, the business could fail.
Come in, welcome.
We're only here for the grand opening.
Grand might be an overstatement, but we're open.
Despite her nerves, Tony steps up and takes her first ever orders.
1 Carling, 1 vodka and Diet Coke in a can.
And Paul is doing his first stint behind the bar.
That's not best. That's on there, isn't it? I knew that.
With the hope of impressing the locals, the couple are offering everyone their first drink on the house.
Anyone who's thinking I haven't done this before? Do you want ice?
Just going to go and break some ice up.
But just 30 minutes in, and the nerves have got the better of Tony, who gratefully retreats to the kitchen.
I am overwhelmed and it's just going to get busier as the night goes on. I'm all right if I don't have to take any orders or money. I can talk to people and I can dry glasses. That's fine.
Although Tony is feeling the pressure of opening night,
vodka, lemonade and blackcurrant.
The customers are enjoying the fruits of their labour.
It's looking well, the place is looking really well. Atmosphere's very good.
That's right, focus, Paul, focus. Everyone's enjoying themselves. That's the main thing.
As the only pub in a 5-mile radius, the turnout has been good. The big question is, have they hit their target?
So I've just counted up. You know, I said about like 1,000 being a real high benchmark, perhaps unachievable. If we're going until midnight, we would have done it. £736.95p. Take that.
Take that, and we'll take that all day long.
I don't know if I want to be this busy all the time to earn it, but, you know, that's all right for drinks, isn't it?
It might be all right, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's September, and so far, for their first 2 weeks, the doors to the Horseshoe Inn have been open for drinks only. Tony and Paul need to turn over £100,000 a year just to break even. But with the kitchen yet to open, income is only coming from the bar. And as Paul is discovering, midweek, it's not a money spinner.
Weakest night last night, so all in all, that was like 120 quid. You know, after your costs and everything come out of that, you might net a profit of 50 quid. You know, it's ridiculous.
It's clear they can't survive on the booze sales alone, so they're depending on the restaurant to bring in an income. It opens this week. This means their dream relies on Tony's home cooking turning professional. No pressure then.
Who goes into a kitchen without having any experience in a professional kitchen? Go, yeah, no, I'll cook, I'll do it. Honestly, it's crazy. I've never ever worked in a commercial kitchen. I don't know how a kitchen runs. I don't know what the process is. It's just really silly things that my mum said, well, you know, she said, when the starter goes out, how do you know when to cook a main meal? And I just woke up and went, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to do any of that.
Thankfully, there is someone who does. Anne, a member of the community who owned and ran the Horseshoe Inn 20 years ago, has offered to help Tony until she's up and running, starting with training her from scratch in cooking professionally.
Do you still have the hot water boiling?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's that. Because she's really glad that the pub's open again, she's kindly offered her services to come and help. Burning questions is how I'm going to cope.
Even with Anne's training, Paul knows that the prospect of cooking for actual paying customers is weighing heavy on Tony's mind.
Because he's so sort of like strong and like he just gets stuff done. Sometimes I feel like I get left behind a little bit.
He's worried her confidence is at an all-time low, but they need her to be brave so that they can survive.
The only hurdle that Tony's got to get over is herself, basically, and her negative self. So she's strong in a lot of respects, but she's fragile in others, and her fragility has exposed itself since we've moved.
Just wish I could be as confident as you, because you haven't got any like sense of failure.
Yeah, of course I have.
But you never air it. You never say that you're worried about failing.
Because my voice in terms of you'll do this is bigger than my voice telling me that I can't do it.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Can your voice come in here then, please?
No, can't. You've got to get your own voice. You have to do this for you. Something you have to do. Drown out the negative voice saying you can't, you're not good enough.
But you're so good at like organising shit.
But I can't do what you can do. Don't get upset. I'd hate to think that I'm the one that's knocking your confidence, because if you see me running around doing this, that and the other...
It's not that you're knocking my confidence, I just see that you're just doing so well and you're just right on top of your shit, and I just feel honest at you.
You know, but that's not the case, is it? All right? That's not the case.
Coming up, their whole dream depends on Tony's cooking.
But I've had enough now. I'm seriously losing it.
But can she handle the heat of a professional kitchen?
The whole day I've been behind and I've had to do that on my own.
It's a plate of fucking food.
Oh, no.
It's late September, nearly 2 months since I first met Tony and Paul. Tonight, Tony will cook for paying customers for the very first time. The menu is traditional pub grub.
Lasagna, which is going to be generous, steak and ale pie, fish and chips, cheese and bacon burger, all lovely stuff with homemade chips, but it's proper carb overload. I think half a dozen of starter, main and dessert should work, and there should be enough for everyone on there.
To make the business profitable, the couple need to take over £350 per night, every night, including quiet weeknights, 365 days of the year. They've discovered that the bar only brings in a fraction of that, So the restaurant has got to be profitable. That's a lot of pressure on Tony's cooking.
Oh, God, what's he got me into, man?
For their first night, the restaurant is fully booked with 35 customers. They need to impress. There's no going back. Tony's first ever kitchen service is beginning.
Okay. Shall I take the starters? Oh, shall I do the starters? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Salad on the bottom. There. Shall I do it in a ring? Like use a thingy ring? What about a little bit of rocket? Yeah, that would be fun. Got two out. Oh, what's next?
2 starters out the door. But there's still a restaurant full of customers left to serve 3 courses to.
Okay then, right, so I've just got to get them sorted, all right. Oh, okay, there we go.
After serving 20 starters in the first hour, they're on to the mains, and Tony's feeling the pressure.
And you want chips. Right, I'm losing it now, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. I went from, yeah? Right.
It's just
pie, chips. I need a burger bun.
burger bun. I've just got it out. Oh, fucking idiot. There, dickhead.
Paul's in charge of serving drinks and can only provide moral support in the kitchen.
So, you got a plan then, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll just do the donkey work, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. My emotion is one that reminds me of when Tony was in labour and she looked at me when I asked if she was all right, like she wanted to punch my face in. So I'm going to go in there less frequently, if at all. I think I need to stay away.
Fortunately, none of the stress in the kitchen shows in the food.
I had a cheese and bacon burger with salad and homemade chips. It was very nice, actually. I quite liked it.
Right, that's done. That's done.
After 3 hours, all the customers are finally served.
I'm knackered. Oh, I'm knackered.
With the first service over, it's time to see if the restaurant has brought in a much-needed cash injection.
£1,262. That's got to be a high five, isn't it, I reckon?
Yes, you pretty much about that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Summer turns to autumn in the beautiful landscape outside. But for weeks, Tony's world has been the inside of her kitchen. Anne's time helping is finished. Tony is on her own. She's up at 6 a.m. to place food orders and get Harriet to school, then prepping and cooking until midnight.
I've got grated cheese already. I might have to grate some more. I've got cheese sauces already done.
Without the funds to hire a chef, tonight she'll be running the kitchen on her own for the very first time.
Honestly, I felt physically sick. The thought of having to do this absolutely terrified me. I've got to cook some rice and I'm doing the coleslaw now.
It's 6 o'clock. As the restaurant begins to fill up, Tony and kitchen assistant Alana battle on with prep.
Wait, what am I looking for? What did I come out here for? I don't know what I went out there for. A burger. Is that one gone? Right, go on then, go. Right, next up.
Orders are coming in thick and fast.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just missed it. Sorry. Oh, fuck's sake.
They're half an hour into a 3-hour service, and things are already starting to get on top of Tony.
What is it? Chips and beans. Sausage, chips and beans.
There's been a mix-up with the bookings, and too many tables have been booked to arrive at the same time. This means that Tony has to prepare multiple dishes at once.
There we go. Sausage and beans. No, chips and beans. Right, really shaking. I don't really want to be here anymore.
Hey there, babe.
Yeah, no, I've had enough now. I'm seriously losing it. Losing this. This is just running away with me now.
Some customers have been waiting almost an hour for their main course.
Is there anything I can do?
Not really. Just go and apologise to people that waited so long.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I thought you were doing a conversation.
What a quarter for a fucking burger. It's ridiculous.
With service finally over,
Seriously, that was awful.
Tony and Paul take stock.
The whole day I've been behind and I've had to do that on my own.
But you told me, I know,
the whole
you've
day.
done it, I know, it's amazing you've done it, but I asked you numerous times, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm on top of it,
Yeah, but then I don't want to ask you because you're having your own little melodramas. Well, I'm not going to go, actually, can you help me?
But I would have dropped everything and helped you.
Yeah, right.
The most important thing, and the only thing that will keep us afloat is the kitchen, the food and you. So if there's anything I can do to make your life a little bit easier or more manageable, then I'll do that, because your kitchen and your food that goes out is what makes us financially, and will continue to do so.
It's the volume of orders that come in.
Yeah.
Because you don't, like, when the orders come in, you don't just look at one order.
No, you don't. You look at all
You
of
have to
it.
look at all of them.
I know you do. And I think you look at that and it's daunting. It's a plate of fucking food.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what you've just got to break it down as. And if there's 20 plates of food, you've got to prep at that time. You can do it, but it just takes longer to do it. And if you tell customers that, it's fine.
The next month brings continuous hard graft for Tony and Paul, who moved to Scotland for a better life. Tony's days and nights are spent toiling over a hot stove, under huge pressure from the amount of work and the knowledge their future depends on her.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's bang, 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 and then it's Monday again. And then what I'm doing is I go to bed and I can't shut off because I'm worrying about what I've got to do the next day.
Paul also puts in long hours, serving at the bar, ordering, cleaning and doing maintenance.
I need some vitamin D or something like that, because I don't go outside anymore. It's just inside the four walls. I've got a life, but just inside these four walls.
For 3 months, their new life consists of non-stop work. There's not even time to touch their living quarters.
Physically exhausted. You just don't have time, money or inclination to do it. So that's why, in the short term, these have been left redundant.
And added financial pressures pile on from Scotland's measures against COVID. All of October, food services restricted between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m, and drinks can only be served outside. It's hard to see how Tony and Paul's business can survive.
In the past week, I sold the grand total of 1 pint of ale and a glass of wine to the same couple because they were brave enough to sit outside in the climate. Last Saturday, the kitchen was open for as long as what it was, and we took 10% of what we did the previous Saturday.
I just hope that come 26th of October we'll be able to do a little bit more than what we're doing.
But December brings full lockdown. The couple have to close the pub, and it stays closed all winter long.
We are in a sort of indefinite lockdown.
It's not an ideal situation to be in.
Even the spring brings precious little hope for the future.
8 months we've probably been up here now, near enough. Staring down the barrel of sort of 3 to 4 months, aren't you, in terms of when we're able to open again. It's July, August. If we weren't open by then, we're in trouble. What we've lost financially over the past 3 to 4 months, it probably equates to about £20,000. Being candid, we'd have to start seriously thinking about not functioning, you know, and getting out of Dodge, basically.
Coming up, I'm back a year after I first met them to find out if Tony and Paul are still in business.
We didn't come up here for us both to be working a 50-hour week.
And it was a case of pub has got to go, or we might go.
This journey must be one of the most beautiful in the UK. And of course, this is the reason that Tony and Paul came up here, for the landscape, to enjoy the outdoors. But when I last visited nearly a year ago, they hadn't had a single opportunity to explore. They were so busy getting the pub ready. The family moved from Rochester in Kent to run a pub in beautiful Western Scotland. But 4 months after opening, they were completely shut down. Now, 12 months on, I'm wondering whether the pub is open, how they've survived the storms of the past year, and are they making money? Because it's the middle of summer. If they're not making a success of it now, they never will. This really is make or break.
It's all looking a little bit different. Fully booked. This is a good sign.
Wow. Hey, guys, how are you?
How are you?
Look at this.
I am as excited to see both of you as I am your pub.
What a transformation.
It's more than a lick of paint now, anyway.
Oh, my goodness me. But it actually feels already cosy, lived in, used, open.
Thank you. Yeah, at last, at long last.
Well, listen, I'm excited to have a look around. Can we explore?
Do the guided tour, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, please.
Okay, should we go this way first?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They spent the 4 months of lockdown productively decorating. The pub has now been open and fully operational for the past 4 months.
Oh, yes, this is all transformed as well. Now, I left a little bit of my own mark, hopefully a positive one, on the bench.
You did leave a positive one, yeah, you did, absolutely. I think it was all of probably 4 or 5 brushstrokes.
I think that was about it. But again, another room completely transformed and used, but maybe looking at the screen there, not in the context that the pub was meant to be used.
No, exactly that. It's challenging. It's more a restaurant than a pub.
I think last time you were here, it was me that was going to be predominantly in the kitchen. It's just too full on, just for one person, and we realised that during lockdown, so that's why we've ended up getting a chef on board.
So then we took a big punt when you haven't got any money coming in, and I didn't know if it was too upmarket because we're now becoming that gastro pub.
It appears to me the proof is in the pudding, or the meals, or the reserved table signs.
A gastropub is a step up from the traditional pub menu and local bar I saw a year ago. And Tony and Paul have taken some huge financial gambles. First, when money was very tight after lockdown, they hired a chef to try and give them back some precious time.
It was just really hard going. We didn't come up here for us both to be working a 50-hour week. At times it was so challenging, and then I'm working sort of pretty much full-time in the kitchen, prepping all day and then doing an evening shift, and it was just like, something's got to give, and that's why obviously we got the chef on board, and it's just alleviated so much pressure.
And they kept on hiring more staff to wait at tables as the customers kept coming. The restaurant's now open 5 days a week, serving 40 covers for lunch and 65 each evening.
Hello, how are you? Hi there, hello everyone. Having a nice evening? Good.
The pub is thriving too, and I can't wait to hear what the locals think.
They've done a fantastic job refurbishing the place and just making it a lovely place for everyone to come.
Brought the place to life, you know.
And, for the locals as well, not just for, just...
And so important to have a hub like this. Would you agree?
This place has been a hub for many years, but it's revitalised it. And it's a joy to come here now, you know, it really is.
Cheers to you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
There's no doubt Tony and Paul have brought this village pub back to life. And the locals love it. Now Paul is hoping to attract customers from beyond the village. He wants my help making a new roadside sign to bring in passing trade.
What have we got here?
Right, so this is I only got delivered this morning, so I've got a rickety old chalkboard out the front. And what I'm trying to do, because a lot of people still don't know we're here, what we're about.
What am I writing? Open all day?
Open all day, meals served from 12:30 would be awesome. You're a chalk pen hustler, Ben, I think, by the looks of that. Seem to be better at this than me, so...
Happy with that?
You happy? Yeah. Good, I'm happy.
Hustling for new customers is all very well, but with a full-time chef and more staff, I can't help wondering if they're covering their costs.
By your own admission, a lot of the kind of financial planning for this was kind of done on the back of a fag packet. I'm sure it was a little bit more sophisticated than that, and working with Tony and things. But I'm wondering whether you're actually even left with a salary.
There was gambles in paying extra for their chef, taking on loads of my staff. We had 4 or 5 staff. I've now got, including ourselves, 20 at last count staff.
20 staff?
Yeah.
That sounds like incredibly high outgoings for a village pub. The big question is, have they got a turnover that matches?
The turnover is sitting at about 360, 370.
Oh my goodness!
So it's sort of mind blowing how quickly that can change.
And I can see you've got a real twinkle in your eye when you say that. Quite rightly so. You must be proud of that.
Yeah, I'm proud. I'm grateful, and I think we're blessed to a certain extent. I think sometimes the stars are aligned for us.
This has been an incredible success. They've turned over £30,000 per month since opening after lockdown and are on course to hit £360,000 a year. That's a profit of £100,000, double what they estimated they would earn when they came up here.
Has it put pressure on your relationship at all?
We've argued, you know, we've more than butted heads. At one point it was a case of pub has got to go, or we might go. We shut down in January. Maybe for us that was a massive blessing to sort of take stock, have a pause, give Tony a rest, look at finding that chef, creating a better, you know, a better balance in terms of work-life balance as well, and giving us more time.
But life isn't all about work. With the pub a success, I want to find out if they're enjoying what they really came here for, the great outdoors. With some of the most scenic views in Western Scotland on their doorstep, we're off on a mini seaside adventure.
Harriet, what do you hope to see? What would you like to see?
Dolphins.
Dolphins. OK. Anything else on the list?
Otters.
Otters.
Dolphins
That might
and
be a
otters.
slightly harder one.
Yeah.
You never know, though.
They're quite aloof.
Oh yeah, they're all laying on that rock.
So Harriet, can you see the sea? Look, do you see them all along here? You can see them on the beach. They kind of look like giant rocks.
Yeah,
I can see some big ones over there.
I see that.
Do you see them? Look at the head here. See the whiskers? It's looking at you.
They're actually quite fluffy, aren't they?
They've got really thick coats. Now, when I first met you guys, you were talking about the draw of this location, the outdoors, wanting to spend as much time actually enjoying the environment as you could.
We are still sucked and trapped in this pub vortex, but we're climbing our way out to be able to enjoy things like this more often.
And when you do have a moment like this, what are you thinking now?
I think the only benefit that we've got now is that actually we're in control of our own destiny and we can create that flexibility. By hook or by crook, you know, we're going to find that time, definitely.
Can I thank you for giving me the excuse to come and have a look around a part of Scotland that I haven't been to before, actually?
It's a pleasure, Ben. I'm glad you
Well,
enjoy
listen,
it.
it's, any excuse to get up to this corner of the country. I love it here.
So do we.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Paul and Tony have ridden that wave. They've been through the highs and they've experienced plenty of lows. And the result is they finally have turned this place into what they wanted it to be. They have created a dream, and they now get to spend time as a family. They're making plenty of money. They've created a thriving business. They're part of the community, and they're finally actually getting out and exploring wild Scotland.
Next time, a couple swapping cramped London living
to a new life.
Can we go and run around our house, please?
for 14 acres in Lincolnshire, where they battle the elements.
Can't get them in. It's a nightmare.
And the planner.
At this point in time, it doesn't look like we're going to get our planning permission.
Trying to create their dream glamping holiday retreat.
Sending emails to people having to cancel their holidays. I mean, that's just rubbish.
Moving here was a really good positive step. And then it turned to crap.